Good evening, good evening. We're back. It's yet another session. The ship is in space. The strange cargo is aboard. Strange noises are coming from within it. What might happen in the next 5 days as we fly through space? I think we're about to find out. And with us tonight, starting from the top, we've got Bugsy Boy. Below him, we've got Pete, and to his left, Christine. And then we got Anthony. And then, at the bottom of your picture, he's not putting his microphone on. We've got Martin. So,
hello. Yes.
Let's get cracking, folks. You're in space, pushing away from Craxis, flying out into the dark. As Craxis recedes into the distance, who is flying the ship? Who is today's primary jammer? Don't all speak at once.
I'm going to be...
Okay, Megan. So Megan is flying. Cool, no problem at all. You're all capable of flying. Remember, you're all spellcasters. That means you're all capable of flying. There's no problem at all. You can rotate it amongst you. So Megan is taking first duty on the helm. And what is everyone else doing? Let's start with Lovelaw.
I think that Lovelore is still interested in this crate and is sort of walking around it, looking at it, poking at it, wondering what in the heck's inside of it.
Okay.
He's not going to do anything stupid, but he's just fascinated.
All right. So, given that that's the case, then you're settling down. Are you settling down in the? Let's move to the ship. Just give me a moment, if you would. Are you settling down in the cargo bay?
I'm not going to sleep there or anything. I'm just
to
right
keep an
now,
eye on this thing.
as we're taking off, probably for the first couple of hours, I'll be just, it's just messing with the thing.
Okay. So obviously, you've got the cargo hold just here, and that's where the box is, kind of just planted in the middle. Clunk. Good. Right then. That's where you are. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think JL's going to go and thank Megan for the new hat, and then come back into the cargo hold and have a look, and just consider just walk around the room and consider the box. I don't know whether anything that should have affected her perception and investigation stats with the level up, so she might see something new that she didn't see before.
Alright. Very good.
Passive stuff rather than the active one.
That's fair enough. Just going to turn that grid off.
And she'll bring a piece of paper and a thing just in case something jumps out she wants to draw it.
Just in case something jumps out. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that wouldn't be in the slightest bit terrifying, would it? Alright, just give me a moment. I'm just going to... For some reason it's not finding these things. I'm just looking for the... I'm just going to...
Doesn't look at all like a sarcophagus.
It doesn't actually, but It's a little big as well. Let's just size it down a little bit, but. Oop. Put a level there. Just put that. I actually think it's most likely to be sort of sat to one side realistically. You can get all the way around it, but most likely sat like that. Okay. Alright, so
Why, JL, you've gotten extremely...
suddenly JL is enormous. I thought that was Lovelaw's job to be enormous.
She's become more observant, so she's been learning.
Varro?
Varro is keeping Megan company at the on the foredeck.
Well. Okay. And Shaggy.
I'm in the hall area. Anywhere in the hall area, maybe near the black dot, because I'm tinkering with Monty.
That's the crew quarters.
That's the number 6.
That's the number 6. That's this area.
Is that number 6? Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, it's a number 6. It's just a strange thing.
Number 5.
Yep, that's fine because that's the area where you would most likely have your tools. If there's not space in here, which there isn't at the moment,
Yeah.
you'll most likely have your tools in here. So you're fiddling with Monty, and that's fine. You're in there. It's not an issue.
Yeah, so I'm just there fiddling with Monty and
Yep,
getting,
that's no
looking sexy.
issues. No problem at all. Okay, good. You're in there. Good.
I'm trying to teach him a new word. Cockwomble.
So,
Yeah, he can't muster that one yet. He's trying though.
yeah, Lovelord, you've been sat there for a while. Just sort of in the end, you kind of ended up sitting on the deck, cross-legged. You've just been watching this box. Can you make a perception check for me, please? Okay. It's just making you uneasy. It's been making you uneasy all the way through. You can't put your finger on why. JL saunters in. You've been in space for about probably knocking on an hour at this point. She saunters over to the box. She looks at you, nods, and she comes over and sits down on the deck next to you, cross-legged.
All right, love. Sounds like somebody from Coronation Street.
It's more Brookside than Coronation Street, isn't it?
Sure. I'm just waiting for the chuck or the chick to come in now. Ew, chuck.
So, you sit there for about... Anthony, I think I can't hear you. Nope, still can't.
Oh,
Oh, wait. Give me a
Ah.
second. Oh, is it better?
No, we
You're
can
back.
now.
Yep, can hear you now.
Okay. I was just wondering, in the investigation, does the creature inside appear to be able to sense when we're closer to the box, as opposed to further away? Like, does it start growling if you get close to it? Does it only growl and go on when you start poking at the box, or is it a constant grumpy? You know, what's it doing?
You haven't noticed any change simply by proximity to the box.
Okay.
You get closer to it, further away from it. You haven't kind of banged on it, but you've walked around it and you've touched the box, and you haven't noticed any particular reaction as a result of that. JL, he gets up and wanders over, and he wanders around the box, kind of wanders all the way around it, and he comes back and he kind of rubs it a few. He just sort of slides his hand and sort of touches a few panels. Doesn't like hit it or thump it or anything like that. He just sort of walks around, and then he comes back and you're watching and listening, and every so often you'll get one of these. You'll kind of hear a thump and hear some muffled noises from within. You want to make a perception check for me?
Nope. Actually, perception's good.
Know the feeling.
Actually, perception not so good.
Okay. Yes, the box isn't surprising you by, suddenly leaping up in the air or something like that. So
We came to the same conclusion.
passive perception. Yeah, just you conclude that it's not reacting to your presence particularly. You thought perhaps movement, as in because the box was picked up, carried, swung around a bit, thumped down. You thought that might cause it to be grumpier when it got on board, because JL, you were at the warehouse, right?
I can't remember.
Because Lovelore wasn't.
Varro was at the warehouse.
Varro and JL, I thought, were at the warehouse.
Yeah.
With yeah, because Megan and with Shaggy as well, and because Megan and Lovelore went to see
Oh, the summer retreat.
Captain Charles
Yes,
on the
we didn't
Viper.
actually- yeah, I didn't go with that. With them.
No, so you would have been at the thing. So that it doesn't seem to have got worse, particularly, or better. There's just this odd. Every so often you hear a kind of clump, you hear some thumping, and then you'll hear a clonk, and you'll hear something from within. But the sound that's coming out, you can't tell whether it's a growl, a bellow. It's not clear as to exactly what the noise is. It's coming from within. It's kind of it's kind of unclear.
Unsettling.
I don't know, JL. You want to go up and read the stars?
Might go and get my book.
All right. I'll go up onto the weapons deck then, where I like to sit,
Mm-hmm.
and do one of Lovelore's things where I stare out at the stars and think that I'm seeing, try to put together the dots. There's words being put out there for us. There are. Don't know what they mean. But they're important.
So that's an interesting. It's a very, very interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah. If you look right now over that nebula just to the side, if you really squint and try and draw lines between those, it says the Geefethan. I don't know what it means, but I'm sure it's important.
I think that you need to make an investigation check.
Oh, okay. I'm on that. This is not going to be good either.
Oh,
Unless I roll.
18.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Pretty good.
Surprise. The It could be an A. The gay thief. Ah,
You take a long time and you sit and you draw. In your mind, you draw connections between the things. And you've become convinced that there must be some kind of message in there. For about an hour you try and pull it apart, and in the end you realise that probably you're actually imagining it, and you feel comfortable with the idea that actually at this point this is not what you're looking for and you are actually imagining this. And so you let it fade from your mind.
Okay. By the way, I can't move
You
my
still
phone.
remain
There's-
convinced that there are portents and there are messages to be drawn. But you think perhaps the obvious answer of them spelling out words, that'll be too simple, and you need to look far more carefully for much more subtle signs.
I think
That I shall.
she knows that they've. Say Shaggy's that we mentioned it's been magically protected. So she probably doesn't think much is going to come from this, but she possibly wants to give it a try anyway, just to see if it's not protected against this particular type of spell.
Okay?
You might try the primeval awareness, just to see if that does anything. Sit for a minute and.
Just so you know, you guys don't currently have control over those tokens because I just haven't added it. That's all. It's nothing personal. I will get around to it at some point.
That's a good sign, guys.
It's just part of the milieu. It's part of the story rather than anything else.
Yeah, she went to get a book and she's sitting inside the room near the door. Just she tried, and then this has a think, see if anything comes of the awareness.
I leave the trap door open.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it will because of the protection against scrying or whatever they said. But not gonna hurt. I hope.
Right. What is your favoured terrain?
Coast. So I don't
Coast.
think space counts. Coastal. Yeah.
Okay, why did you go with coast particularly?
Because I thought that's where the area that she grew up with around.
That's
the
fine.
coast.
That's not a problem. It's just that you don't have to choose because of the nature, I think, of Spelljammer. You can choose what wouldn't be normal choices if you wanted to. So, for
Okay.
example, you could have asteroids as a favoured terrain, or you could have cities as favoured terrains, or you could have space as a favoured terrain. Well, Wildspace as a favoured terrain. I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that if you wanted to change that at some point. I'm not saying you need to think about it now, but
She'd not really been to much in space, but she'd been when she was training. It was a lot on the beach with some construct type things as targets. So that's kind of where I went with for the first one. You can pick other ones at like the later levels.
That's fine. Yes. So you sit and you let your senses sort of roam. There's something strange about the experience because the ship is moving so brutally fast through wild space. There's almost like at the edges it's sort of it's kind of almost being blown away in sort of a wind, and you think, wow, not really going. but you get this distinct feeling that there is an aberration present.
I'll knock on the door and
Knock on the door.
tell Shaggy.
I think we might be dealing with something aberrational.
Aboriginal.
An aberration.
Oh, what's that?
Something from a dark place. Normally pretty nasty.
It's in a crate with no light in it.
Yeah.
I think it's in a dark place.
Very good.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay.
Dark
It
place.
could be. They're normally pretty dangerous.
Well, I know.
Danger on board. Okay, who's Will Robinson? Where is he?
Yes, hey, can you train your robots to go, danger, Will Robinson, danger?
Yes, I can. After he's come to terms with.
Just by the way, just so you know, because I just want to
Yes.
obviously I don't know, this is the thing. So aberrations tend to be kind of types of monsters that are somewhat unnatural. Okay, so for example, Aboleth, Beholder, would fall into that category. Just trying to think of some other things that you might have heard of.
Sentient death cake.
Right.
I'm just going through.
See,
Flump,
Pete,
the Flump, for example.
same wavelength.
Could you tell the others, please, Shaggy?
I just
I'll keep an eye on it.
I just have in my head, given the sort of the setting, that Stitch from Lilo and Stitch is
Yeah.
going to beat out the cake with 4 arms and blast it.
A gibbering mouther, Githzerai, slads, grells, those kind of things. Yeah?
Okay, I'm going to test more. So I'm going to. Do I know where Loveball's gone? Yes, because he's got to have come to weapon deck. No, he would have gone from position number 7. So I don't know where he is. So what I'm going to do is I know that and Megan up in the spelljamming section. So I'm going to send Mortiana. I'm going to say to him, go up and see Varro and Megan in the spelljamming helm, and please pass on a message from JL. But the message is aberration on the ship in the crate. And then come back down. Let's see how your movement is. And off he goes. And I'll watch him go through 3. I'm using the numbers for the map thing, and into 2 to go to the foredeck, and see how his movement is, to see if I need to tweak anything with the legs, the wings, and everything else. I mean, I think he looks okay, but I just want to double check. So this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to listen at the bottom of the hatch to see if he goes Cockwomble says. Because I'm trying to teach him that, you see.
How
I'll shout
pleasant.
I'll shout up to Lovelore as well from the room.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. He shares it and comes back. So now you know. Okay. So, time passes. Is anybody wanting to do anything before we get into night mode?
I was just going to say, I will go up and see Barrow.
I lost you right there, Rob. I lost your audio completely. I don't know if other people are doing that or not.
Well,
I don't know.
have a quick 4-hour nap before he has his night shift.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. I was just going to say, I was going to ask Megan Cavarro if Monty passed on a message about the crate, and was it accurate? And how did he look coming in and out of said room? And then that's it. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
Barry, you're having the rest that elves do, right?
Yeah.
So you're basically having that
4-hour
trance
trance thing. Yeah.
before you take the night shift on the helm.
Yep.
No problem. Okay. So you rest. You drop into trance as you normally do, very, very easily. You find such a thing very simple, very straightforward. You drop into trance very easily. And it's that usual thing of your senses are kind of still connected, but your brain is sifting through a whole bunch of things. But every so often as you're doing this, you feel these kind of, it's almost like you're having these intrusive thoughts, just unsettling intrusive thoughts, which is not usual for you. It just feels really, it's like these odd things keep coming into your head, kind of, images of violence and kind of sort of little worries about bad things that might happen in the future. They just keep kind of wandering into your mind. They come and then they're sort of discarded and they go. But it's strange because you're normally very, very centered, and these problems sometimes they might come in and because of something that's happened, and you can just process them and deal with them. But here they unsettle you just that little bit. You still rest perfectly satisfactorily, there's no issue, but just something about it just makes you feel uncomfortable. It doesn't have any effect on you, but you just feel gently unsettled when you've had when you've finished your trance. Strange, you think? Strange.
Yep.
Right. You prepare for night then. Varro is flying. Are you sleeping in your quarters as you usually do? You all have hammocks.
Yes, so I probably would have been on the crew deck for that.
Mm-hmm.
Crew pool.
Yeah, well, JL's going to go and get some bits and pieces if she's going to go nestle down in this corner. If
Okay.
she sleeps, she's going to be nearby.
Just going to look for something. Okay. Well, there's an example. I'm sure there's other examples though. There's a spell jamming helm there. I quite like the look of that one. I was going to say you can move your tokens now.
So am I? Oh, I'm I've got the helm in my hand.
You are? Yep. Is Megan at the helm as well?
Before I settle down for a little bit.
Sorry, what was that, John?
Is Megan at the helm as well? Is she on the foredeck?
Yes.
Okay, so you're staying there. You're not joining up with the others.
Yeah, I'm staying on the foredeck at the moment.
Okay.
Unless they call me back for some reason that they need.
Okay. Lovelore, are you staying up top?
Yep.
Sleeping up there as you often do? Okay. I've got Shaggy's the only person who's sleeping in the crew quarters at the moment.
But before I do that, I'm going to use my magic. Monty comes back. I'm fine with Monty after I've spoken to Varro and Megan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do a bit of magical tinkering before I go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to can I link this? I think I can. Sorry if this goes horribly wrong. There you go. Right. Okay. So basically, it's it's a one. I'm reading it. It's a one-time thing. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to basically create something out of metal. Okay. Finished metal that I can get Monty to use between his claws. Okay, so like a pincer effect. And I want to imbue it with a very loud warning kind of alarm. So if anything happens, versus
Well, it can be
You
heard
can
at
press
10
it.
feet away. So it's not that loud,
you
but
can
yeah.
press it, destroy it, okay, because I think it gets destroyed once it's used, and off we go. And I'm hoping that, So Monty's, because of what JL said, I'm going to stick Monty by the door as a safeguard for anything that might come through the door into 6, 3, 5, 4, 2, and ultimately 1. So if anything comes through the door that is not crew, that Monty does not recognise, then it will press the buzzer, the magical tinkered item,
Mhm.
thus destroying it to basically wake me up, hopefully.
Okay. Fine. Yep.
Yeah.
No problem.
And then once I think that that's correct and right, and make sure that Monty understands the assignment, I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay. JL, you've been in with that crate. You've been sitting in there for the thick end of 10 hours now. You've been sketching, you've been reading, but you've been sat there with that crate for a long time, and it's been quiet, very quiet.
Thinking to myself, who
Aside
wants
from the noise that the-
collaboration delivered.
Aside from the noises that the crate makes every now and again, and a few people, and the odd time someone's wandered past. Other than that, you've just been sat in silence in there. So you've been listening to the noises, and you've been watching and listening, and you've been paying attention. And something isn't quite right. You can't put your finger on what it is, but there's something not quite right. Something a little strange is going on. And so, what I would like you to do is I would like you to make an investigation check, but I'd like you to make it at advantage.
Yes. There you go.
You've just been sat there for so long, observing, just really watching this thing, listening to it more than anything else, really.
Really good drawing of a box.
It strikes you suddenly that the noises that it's making, the sounds, the muffled thuds and the noises, are always the same. They seem to be on a sequence, but the sounds themselves, so far you've identified 5 different sounds. What you can best describe as something moving along, thumping as if it's dragging its feet. 3 different types of thump, slightly different intensities, different positions on the box. And then this animalistic, raw, grunt, not quite clear what it is, sound. And these occur irregularly, and they are mixed together. There's one of the particular thumps that's quite loud. That's the one that you saw startle people when you were at the when they were moving the box and when they were at the warehouse. But you've listened to these noises over and over and over again, and you are 100% convinced that it's only those 5 sounds in exactly the same way that this box makes. To a casual observer, it's no surprise that people would miss this. But now you've had this really, really long time just sitting here. You've worked it out. And you look down at one of your pages in your notebook, and you've actually drawn a little expressive icon for each of these things. And you realise that what you've done as well is you've sort of made a little mark next to each one as they've gone along. And in your mind's eye, you've kind of see each of these as an individual thing. And you've made these little marks. And there's no question in your mind that they're just... The distances between them, the length of time between them seems to vary. The order in which they appear seems to vary. But it's the same sounds over and over again. Which seems unlikely if what you're hearing is a creature inside the box.
Yeah. So...
Everyone else seems to have gone to bed.
Yeah.
Well, you assume Lovelaw has. You've not seen him in a long time. You also realise you're hungry.
Yeah. Looking to get more than nervous at this man.
Okay.
Oh,
The door pushes open and Megan... Hang on. The door pushes open and Megan comes through. She's carrying a bottle, a leather bottle. She's holding it by the top, and she hands you a mug, nods, unscrews the top off the bottle, and pours hot coffee into the mug.
Nice.
Thank you. I've been awake a while.
She looks fresh.
Yeah.
Bloody elves.
Sleepy. I'm getting slightly nervous about this box. I wouldn't stand as close to it. I would probably come and take a step or two away. Part of me thinks it's not. Part of me is thinking it's not a creature in there now. Because these noises are too descriptive. They're the same sounds. Part of me thinks it might be the box itself, or there's something else in there that's been enchanted to make noises. Is it some kind of shape-shifting creature? Or... Yeah, it's getting a little bit nervous. Have you got any suggestions?
Megan!
I'm not hearing anybody. Hang on,
No.
is that my end? Or...
Nope, I'm upstairs, so I'm not listening.
Yeah, I'm at the helm, so there's nothing I can do. I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, I think we were.
Have
Megan?
I moved into the? I didn't realise I'd moved into the galley. I moved to the galley. I thought I didn't realise I'd moved to the.
You said, I'm going to head to the galley to make all those still awake a coffee.
Yeah.
So then JL was talking about the circumstances. Actually, you're a little bit big there, Megan. We'll just size you down a little bit. And I said, the door opens and Megan comes through with coffee. Because you were making everyone coffee.
I see. Sorry, my apologies. I hadn't heard that bit. I do apologise. I was
I think
distracted.
actually, didn't you say that she stood by the box and leaned against it?
Yeah, she went over and she climbed on top.
Did I do a tap dance on the top?
Decided to pour some coffee into the water.
Dispenser thingy. Yeah, because I'm pretty certain that this animal, whatever it is probably still awake. So
I have been debating that.
Animal. So can I just say, how many people heard what I said to JL, well, to Martin?
Oh, I heard it, but my character didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, you all heard what I said, right? You've
Yeah.
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, but
That's the key. Yeah.
But didn't hear it in as much as.
No, that's fine. But you're now getting filled in by JL. Not filled in, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My apologies. I do apologise. I guess I was distracted. I apologise. So I didn't hear your comment. Could you say again? Sorry. Jay?
If you were just saying, wouldn't stand so close to it because thinks it might be enchanted, or the box itself is the creature.
Well, you're standing close.
The world's biggest mimic. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't find JL anywhere. Where's JL?
Yeah, the
Oh.
seem to be on a loop or some kind.
I missed the
device.
chance of that one. I really did.
Yeah. Megan looks at the box, a little bit worried. Right. Sidles over to Jay. Like a coffee.
I've got this alchemy jug. I can get it to make acid or poison and pour that in the dispenser thing and see what it does.
Yeah, but
Well,
we are
I have-
supposed to
I have-
transmit this.
I have to say, I did comment before we left port. Should we get some tranquilizer and put it in?
That's true.
So,
Whatever this is, somebody wants it delivered intact is a bit concerning.
Well, that is the job.
A little bit of ketamine in there, just to sort of knock it out a little bit.
Whatever it is, I don't.
I just like the. It's not an alchemy jug. I just like the idea of the jug of drugs. Has a variety of different things you can turn, and you pour it out. This one pours out ketamine. This one has a small box. You open it up, and it's a little vial of cocaine. And
This one's Viagra.
Comes with its own straw.
this one's This one turns out a really nice set of skag. Yeah, great. Oh dear.
So let me see. Yeah,
I think I'll cast thaumaturgy on the floor underneath it, just to make it rumble slightly and see if the box does anything different. It still makes the same noises.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
it's a
The
creature.
floor rumbles. The
Something
box
like
rumbles. The box kind of vibrates a little bit. About 30 seconds after you cast the spell, you and Megan stood there watching. And about 30 seconds after you cast the spell, there's a thump. It's the loud thump this time. Megan goes, "Whoa. That provoked a response." And you go,
It's been doing that for the last 10 hours. I'll show the diagram.
it doesn't make much sense to her when you show her the dice, like these little icons, like, what are these pictures? Put a little cross next to it. She's drawn these 5 little pictures, and one of them is kind of the mouth of a creature with like a little kind of roar coming out of it. It's really tiny, and then there's these basically these kind of sort of like hammers hitting these walls. It's all very strange, just odd.
I don't think it's a creature though. It's too. There's no variety. It's just the same things over and over and over again.
Has anybody tried repeating back the taps or rules or anything to the box?
I've not been able to touch it.
I wouldn't want to go over to touch it. Maybe anybody have mage hand, maybe?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we can go and ask them.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it's only 30 feet range.
Oh. It's a slightly touchy subject at the moment, isn't it?
Just thought sick burn.
Are you
But
popping
yeah.
round the corner and knocking on the side of the bucket?
The bucket that Shaggy sleeps in.
Mm.
Is pressed platinum bucket.
Yeah.
Gold
Yeah,
pressed
Shaggy.
platinum bucket, yeah.
Gold platinum bucket.
Yeah. It's not a bucket, in fact. It's actually quite a large. It's almost like a tub.
Fish tank.
It's a big tub. But it's quite funny because he kind of all his stuff is laid out perfectly in like this shape on the floor, and then there's just this tub, and you can kind of see it's him. He's sort of
It's just, you see, I remember watching this ancient film a very long time ago where there's this planet, there was this ship came down to this planet and it played music to people, and people played the music back, you know.
Yeah. Lovelord's up top deck making a tower out of potatoes.
Growl BS and 2 scratches for nose.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it might be trying to communicate with us. Who knows? It might be its method of communication.
Yeah.
Go knock on the bucket. Shaggy.
Oh, 2 seconds, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I send you a whisper, John.
politics.
I don't think
No.
I heard them talk from where I'm sitting, so I won't throw any 2 cents in.
Right, okay. Well, if that's the answer to that, then I kind of make a single eye socket.
Hello.
Hello. Is it
Can-
morning yet?
Not yet.
Okay, my eye socket just goes back inside my head. What's that?
Thaumaturgy to make the voice go 3 times louder. Shaggy.
Go on, kick the bucket. Kick the bucket.
Shaggy.
That's just rude, man. That's just rude.
What would happen if you
God.
poured a copy into Shaggy?
Ooh.
He would absorb it
Oh, okay.
and possibly get slightly larger until he's actually tuned it. Go backward or show. Or get slightly taller, I would imagine. One of the two.
Megan might have done that.
Either
actually,
girth or height.
walked him by, you know, just
Yeah.
to sort of help him out.
Just wake him up.
Yeah, the fish tank needs topping up. Let's use copy.
Yeah.
What's up, JL?
Can you come and poke the box, please?
Nice.
With something remote, like Mage Hand or
Well,
Monty or
Hang on,
something.
you want me to poke your box?
So at the start of the evening, we were almost in, and now we're poking the box.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, right?
I don't think I
And
realised
the young, inexperienced JL is asking me to poke her box.
No, she didn't. She asked you to poke the box.
Thank you.
The box.
Oh,
Thank
the
you.
We
box.
said the.
Don't you touch her
Okay.
box.
He's very confused by
I'm
this.
a god, not the
box for
god.
years.
Okay, how long have I been asleep, Mr. GM?
About half an hour.
Okay. Yes, I can do this for you, JL. And I kind of like get up, walk on through, and I go, JL. And I push JL into the box. There's your mage hand. And go back to bed.
Nice.
No, I'm joking. I get up and I say, unfortunately, I cannot because I don't have it listed from today's events. It's not a spell that I can cast right now. However, if you let me go back to sleep for another 8 hours, I will be able to. Actually, how long do I sleep for? No, it would be 8 hours.
8 hours.
It doesn't say that I have any...
You're a
Yeah, I don't have any preferential, do I? Like,
no. Plasmoids are just the difference
yeah, 8
between
hours like everybody else.
the difference between plasmoids and everyone else is that you spread out when you go to sleep. And one of the reasons why you have this large thing to sleep in
Fish
is
tank.
because it stops you from sort of spreading out in a puddle on the floor and causing everybody to come round and stand on you while you're asleep.
Bloody health
Which
and
is bloody
safety
annoying.
even on our own ship. It's crazy.
Which is why sleeping in this is just more comfortable. It's like a
Yeah,
it's like a kind of oval
it's
shaped.
like a bed with,
Yeah,
with sides all the way round.
fundamentally that's
Yeah, no,
exactly
that's
what it is. But it doesn't have any
Yeah.
bedding in it because you don't need that. It's just
Yeah,
comfortable for you to just, you know.
Why do you want Mage Hand to for the? If you don't mind me asking, I'm intrigued now. You piqued.
Could Monty do it possibly? I've been listening to this box for the last 10 hours and I don't think there's a creature in there because it's making the same 5 noises over and over and over again. Exactly the same. Do you have
Okay.
any magical
It's-
in thinking of what it could be? It's something someone wants to disguise what this is or is in it. Here's a sketch.
Okay, so I have a look at the sketch.
Which tells you nothing.
Wow, that's really good. Can you explain the sketch to me?
It's making these
What
five
does
noises.
that mean? What does
That's a
that
big-
mean?
That's a big bash, that's a little bash, that's a middle bash, that's a dragging sound, and that's a roaring sound. And it's making all these noises at different times, but it's always the same 5 noises. It's never, there's never any different noise.
And as you're explaining this right on cue, it sounds like something walking inside the box.
That's the dragging one. That's the dragging noise.
The dragging noise, not walking.
I hear all the
Take another-
talking. I'm going
I'll
to
take
join
another
them.
one off.
Yeah, so
Right.
you've been you can hear sound from below, which isn't usual. In actual fact, you were you'd slept for a bit and then you'd woken up. Something had woken you. You seemed to be having some very odd dreams, and you heard some sounds below. And actually, what you tend to do is you tend to keep the hatch open, so you can just kind of hear what's going on. It's been very, very quiet, apart from those odd muffled sounds, and they are very muffled from up there that you've heard from the box. You now drop down the ladder and you're looking, and everyone's kind of,
Gathered.
stood around. Yeah, with the exception of Varro, who's currently flying.
What's happening?
We're just discussing what
Right.
the box noises are, because it's repeating the same noises. There's no variety. It's just the same noises over and over again in different orders. And a
One of
real
your
creature wouldn't-
mechanical automaton things to scare
Possibly.
people away from opening the box.
Yeah,
Probably
it
something really valuable inside.
doesn't sound like something alive anyway. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing that over and over again.
John, whilst
Yes.
we were in the warehouse, obviously I drowned it
Yes,
to do my ritual.
yes.
Did I see any obvious entrances, stroke exits?
No.
So things with hinges.
No, you
on,
absolutely did
or
not.
things- or
It's-
something
it's
that was
like-
going to be fastened.
No, so there's two. Okay, so imagine that you're trying to put something into a box, and you want to keep it in that box, and you're probably going to store it for like an extended period of time, right?
Yeah.
You would let's say you made a box, you manufactured a box, which as you put it together became the cover for the thing that you were putting inside it. Yeah? So imagine you were doing that. That's what this is. Effectively, is being put together. I mean, you can see it has seams and stuff. It's it's a wooden crate, right? But it's like it's been put together, and you assume that when you get to the other end, because there's no like door or crate or lid or whatever, you assume it's a case of you take it to pieces to get at whatever's inside. It's not unprecedented. You have seen shipping crates manufactured like that before. They're not that common, but that does happen.
Okay. So by looking at the size and how it is on 3,
Hmm.
I don't think I'd be able to get away with walking all the way round it.
So you can, from where it is. I mean, I just popped it there. You can walk all the way
Without
around it
touching it. We can-
without touching it. Yes, without touching it.
Right, okay. So I'm going to just give it a quick circle and then my
Move it
best
slightly
guess,
so you
if
so you
I
don't get
was-
upset by that.
If I was a creature inside that, if I was something inside that box and I had a way of
Thump.
getting out,
That was
should
a
I
medium
think
thump.
of, would I burst out the top or out of, or kick the side, or, I'm looking for not necessarily a weak point.
So it's important for you to remember that you checked the box over. I think you and Varro checked the box over, and you checked the sides, the top, and the bottom. Because if you remember, when it was in the warehouse, it was sitting
It was off the floor.
on some blocks off the floor, so they could get stuff underneath it to pick it back up again. Yeah, it was sitting off the floor, and you checked underneath, and you were pretty sure that there was no way in or out that was obvious. Now, obviously, here it's
Okay.
sitting. It is actually again sitting on some low blocks, so you can get thread stuff underneath it to pick it up again. But there's nothing. There's no obvious door or weak spot, or I mean, just the problem is, of course, is you don't know if one of those panels is actually incredibly thin, or if there's some trick mechanism inside that enables you to, open one of the panels from inside, but it doesn't look like it from the outside.
Right.
But that's what a secret door is. It doesn't look like it.
That's right. I mean, what you could do is you could have a good check over, and you could effectively check for secret doors if you wanted to. Yeah.
We have a wand. I do believe I rolled for a wand. Wand of secrets. How do I put it on there?
A wand of secrets.
There we go. Yeah. Why not? Secret door or trap within 30 feet of you. 3 charges and regains 1d3 charges daily at dawn. That's quite a nice little thing.
This is
Yeah,
quite
it's
handy
my,
little bit of kit, that, isn't it?
that was my my item that I rolled for at the very start of this adventure.
Very good.
And then I point out that technically we got a right next to the crate.
I lost you again there. Can I just ask, is anybody else having this problem with Rob where he'll be talking and then he'll just lose a little chunk of his audio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was just me.
No, not you.
Okay.
That could be a Discord thing on my end. I don't know.
Yeah, because you sort of said anybody noticed there's like next to it.
I move it a little bit closer. There you go. We should be fine.
So what is it supposed to be next to the box?
Well, no, I was just going to point out that that technically we got a trapdoor going from the cargo hold to the weapon deck.
Oh, that's above you. There's a ladder. It's not a secret door, trust me. It's just a door. It's just a hatch.
Anyway, the wand will point at it. So, look, I mean,
Okay.
it regains charges. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Might as well. It's a completely reasonable thing to have, especially if you don't have a rogue in the party. So, okay. So you hold the wand, you concentrate, and it doesn't do anything. Secret door or trap. Nothing
The
happens.
issue is if it's not a creature, then what is it? But is it still as dangerous as we? Yeah, I don't know. We're not planning on opening it, although I am intrigued, but I shouldn't.
Right. This is what I think. I think that it is a device or something else to locate it. If there is a creature in it, then maybe these noises are designed to wear us down mentally, to open up our defences, which some of the creatures that I've read about in the of men in the worlds of men and fiction draw power from the shadows. You said that this was an thing. So if I'm not mistaken, that comes from the shadows. So it could be that it's a monster. It could be that there's a thing in there waiting for us to lower our defences. Through tiredness, through dream manipulation, through sucking your blood because you're a tiefling. You know, these things are really... Who knows? It could also be that that because of the routine and the time distance between noise number 1 to noise number 5 are roughly the same spacing, it could be it's like an SOS type thing for something that's outside of the ship.
I thought that, but they're different. They come at different times. It's a bit more jumbled.
It could be there's a baby in there and it's calling to its mum.
You know,
Calling to its mama.
we've got
And
to.
that mum would have surely rescued it last time she attacked the last ship it was on board.
You would have thought, you know, the last ship was attacked. As Megan's just said, Megan and Lovelore went to speak to the people that found the crate and the wreckage of the previous ship. If it's a creature and it caused the crash, it caused the wreck, and it caused the disappearance of the crew, then how can it do that from inside the box? If it's something that's outside of the ship and it's basically being used as a magical finding device, then we're looking at an external force that broke the previous ship apart, in which case it's really got no need for the box to be consumed, to be used for whatever is in it to then disappear, because somebody will find it, somebody will take it to civilization, somebody will then see the manifest document, and somebody else will put it on their wasp and travel 5 days in space to deliver it whilst we get attacked from an external force. I don't know who's going to be that gullible. I look at the crate and I look at everyone in the room. It could be that. It could be almost anything. And I go, hang on 1 second, and I go back to my my pack, and I pull out my rod, and I go back to JL. I don't think there's anything that any one of us can do right at this moment in time. But if this secures your safety whilst you sleep, press the button, stick it on the crate, sorry, press the button, and the lid won't be able to be lifted.
Except there's no lid.
Except for the fact that there's no lid. As Lovelore just said, it's entirely up to you.
No, I mean, there's 5 sides you could put the rod against, but I mean, at least it covers one of them. So
Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
Put it
you
on top
choose
of it.
which one you want to put it on. Honestly, don't know. Whilst I'm in this room, John, the creature did the dragging sound. Because JL told me that's the dragging sound.
There's been a number of sounds since you've been in there.
Right. Can I furl it through the floorboards
No.
of the ship?
No.
Now that I'm in that room.
No, you
Right,
can't.
okay. So I don't think it's an audible kind of. So whatever those sounds are, I ain't got a clue. I'm not clever enough. I'm a pirate. I'm going back to bed.
So,
Wake me up if something else happens.
So, having spent some time, Megan, you've been in here the longest, and having spent just a little bit of time and now you've been told what to listen for, you're noticing the same thing as JL is. You'd never have noticed it before, but you realise that a sound that just came out of the box is exactly the same as a sound that came earlier. And it's only because you're listening for it now and noticing that you notice exactly what JL is telling you. Initially, you thought JL might have been mistaken, but you've just heard another loud thump, and that's the loudest noise it makes. Is quite a big thump, which if you stood next to it is quite loud, but again doesn't carry. So, Bugs, you asked if that sound carried, and the answer is. No, it doesn't, because the ship is too solid for it to carry, and it doesn't carry far enough. If the door was open, you can hear the noises, but they're muffled even by the door. So when you're asleep, it's not real. I mean, you could kind of hear them very, very faintly in the distance, but then it doesn't rattle through the, it's not kind of making everything vibrate.
Yeah,
the sound
I
just
was
isn't that
thinking more
high.
along lines of,
I lost you. Sorry, lost your audio, mate.
I was thinking more about things like sonar type thing, whereby if something
Got you.
externally and it uses the ship to amplify that sound
Gotcha.
that the box generates first. So that's what I was kind of thinking. So if I can't feel it coming through the floorboards in the crew room and or where I'm currently stood right now, then I don't think that would be the case. So again, I explain this to JL and Megan, and I say, look, I don't know, without dismantling the crate,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to tell you why it's doing what it's doing. I have to assume that there's a creature there and that we are safe from it because of the magical shielding.
I don't think it's a creature, but I'm gonna take the diagram to Varro to let him know.
So yeah, so you've been so Megan, you're now keyed into it, and you've been talking to Lovelore about it as well as he's wandered off. Actually, you had enough,
Yep,
have you,
I
Lovelore?
did. I got sort of bored of it.
You did get bored, but now you've had it explained
My
to you.
tick
You've gone.
wasn't enough.
You've gone back up top, but now you can't get it out of your head. You can just hear these things as well. So you're starting to notice it now as well. JL, you go in and
Up there, he's hearing it. So he's not in the room and he's upstairs and he's hearing it.
Well,
This door's open right here.
Directly above. there.
So, yeah, I'm like 5 feet from it.
yeah,
Right,
he's
okay.
5 feet from the box with the trapdoor open. He
Gotcha.
leaves. I should. That's not a trapdoor. It's a lift up door. Yeah. So he leaves that open most of the time, and as a result, he can hear what's happening below. Because it was he was disturbed in his sleep. He was having some strange dreams, and as a result of those strange dreams, he kind of woke up and he heard the noise, and that's why he came down to you guys. So yeah, JL, you're gonna drop in. Varro, we're just streaming through space. You're a bit surprised actually. JL comes wandering in. It's late enough. You would think that everyone would be asleep.
Hey, JL.
Got a diagram to show you.
Okay.
I don't think it's a creature in the box.
What's this?
I've been keeping a track of the noises it makes. It only makes 5 at different times. They're all the same. There's no variety. I don't think it's a creature. I don't think it's a living creature in there.
Does the pattern repeat, or are they random?
It seems random. They're always the same noises. Whether that means we're less safe or more safe, I don't know.
Well, it sounds like sounds a bit like someone's smuggling something under false pretenses, or trying to.
It could be. It could be. They will try anything, these smugglers.
Yeah, they do. That's interesting. So yeah, some sort of spell maybe to just repeat the same sounds. It's certainly doable.
Hmm.
But I think, didn't someone tell me that you detected an aberration?
Yes. I wasn't sure it was going to work with the shielding on it, but apparently I did. I sensed. I searched my senses and I got the detection of an aberration.
Okay.
Searched your feelings and you knew it to be true.
Yes.
So it says you can sense whether the following types of creatures are present within 1 mile of you.
Mm.
So you sensed that there was an aberration within 1 mile, its precise position,
Well, yeah.
and all those
mainly the
things
box,
of no.
It was within a
Very
mile
close.
range. Yeah.
It could be 10 aberrations
Mm.
flying along behind the ship where Lovelore can't see them, or holding on to the hull underneath where Lovelore can't see them.
Aberrational barnacles.
There is actually a barnacle creature in the game. I'm just wondering whether it's actually in a. I got to look. You see now you've made me. Now got to look it up.
Yeah, I'd be a bit worried about piracy.
Hmm.
So
Are we going to be? Are we
character-
going to? Would we be held accountable for transporting contraband, essentially?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
potentially, yes.
Yes.
We could show good faith, but might not work depending on your time. I say we try and
Considering it's killed people already.
be as possible.
Maybe.
By the way, a jammer leech is actually a plant, so not an aberration. But I thought I'd check.
John, out of character,
Yes.
said that there is the area when we were heading out. There's this area in the middle we have to avoid because it was
Not here. No.
no, not here. But what? Why was it mind flayers?
Yes, it was mind flayers.
Their aberrations.
So you were talking about the Illithid Empire that's within the.
Oh, that's it.
Just give me a moment. So between the Lusan and Vedika systems is the Farsees Nebula,
Okay.
and there's a variety of things in the Farsees Nebula, but there's perhaps the most terrifying is Zorm, which is the centre of the Illithid Empire. So yes, there are mind flayers. There's a mind flayer empire in the Farsees Nebula. There's also a planet called Jindu, which no one's quite sure whether that's where plasmoids originally came from, but it's kind of the spiritual home of plasmoids.
What do you think? Do we stop the ship and decide what we're going to do, or carry
I
on
think we keep going.
going?
How long is it to get to our destination?
5
3
days.
2.5 days.
It's about 5 days total. So you're currently, yeah.
4 days.
You think we should have someone keeping watch on it at all times? I mean, I don't mind doing it, but I'm going to need to sleep.
You're currently
Well,
heading
no.
into day 2 at this point. So
We can take turns watching it.
I'm not sure we should
I
have
think
two
we
people
need
watching it.
at least 2 people here at one time.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't think one person should be left necessarily alone with it.
One person and one team, maybe?
No, maybe she will. Shouldn't be left alone on their own with it. Maybe.
Oh, and by the way, I've been having. I suppose other races might call them strange dreams. It works a little bit differently for ourselves, but not my normal resting state, not my normal trance. I don't know if anyone else has had that.
I've not been to sleep yet, but I'll let you know.
okay, JL, you're going to go back and chat to everyone apart from Shaggy, who has gone back into his
Yep.
bed. We'll call it his bed.
Bye!
Eat bucket.
And she
I was
grabs hold of the
thinking,
side of the
like a
hatch
sack,
and
sort of the equivalent of a hammock, like a sack hanging from the ceiling.
Thing is, he could probably actually sleep in a hammock, but there's always the risk that he might drip out. So that's why he prefers this thing on the floor. And it's like it is like a big, kind of like a big bucket, but it's kind of got flared. I'm imagining this big oval wooden bowl, for want of a better way of putting it, almost kind of like metal banded, like the bottom of a barrel kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's got to be quite big, because he's quite large.
Yeah,
He's a medium-sized creature, so his volume's quite big. But it just means he can just sort of relax in it, in like a puddle,
Yeah.
rather than, as I say, just spreading out everywhere.
I kind of picture him like a huge breast implant, like a sort of plastic coated sack of fluid.
Well, it's just... That's an interesting way of looking at
Just
it.
be
but,
careful when
okay.
you mention sack. Okay. I don't want you thinking about me as a sack of fluid.
I just don't think that bread's rising very well. That we've got in the corner over there. Maybe we should stick it in the oven. Just try.
Oh no, because Because when JL walks past, I'm obviously having a good drink because there's a spike sticking up. A pseudopod just emerges.
Oh, I didn't notice that. If you hold the left mouse button on your character and then you right click, you can drag. And it gives you a measurement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to borrow someone else's.
I don't know if that's a new thing or if it's always been and just never found it.
That's brilliant.
I'm not
You've
seeing.
got to-
I'm not
you've got to
seeing the
hold your
measures,
left
but you
mouse
guys
button
obviously
there.
are. So
I don't know that it works on a.
No.
That's
Probably. Yeah.
right. So you're arranging yourself into shifts then.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, the only person who is rested is flying the ship. The rest of you are tired.
Remember, I also am the same species
Yep.
as the person at the helm, so I also
Yep.
do not actually need to sleep, technically. I've
No.
had 4-hour pants. And that
But
is
you
enough.
do need a 4-hour trance here. But you could be in here, be in a trance, and then everyone else could be either through the door in the crew quarters with the door open, or upstairs with the flap open, or in the same room asleep. So those are all options.
I'm gonna go back to my corner.
Oh, hello.
You drop back in the corner there, JL, huh? Are you literally just
Thank
going to
you.
kind of curl up and sleep?
Mhm. Got a bit of material to cover over him.
Right. Rest happens. You decide to... Sorry, Megan. You decide to trance, but you... Rather than, you just stay where you are. And again, you've got peripheral perception, so if something starts happening, you can get up and start yelling and waving your arms around. But nothing
Okay.
does. 4 hours pass, and you get up and stretch your legs, but you stay with the rest of them because they're asleep. You come back and sit down. 4 more hours pass. And then it's time, based on your ship's clock, for everyone to wake up. And you
Okay.
do, all of you do. But all of you were troubled by dreams. Dreams of violence and chaos. Random, fleeting moments. Lovelaw,
It's a normal night for
You're-
Lovelord. Go ahead.
yeah, so Lovelaw, your nights are often troubled by difficult dreams. But these were altogether more violent. These were much more heightened. They were direct visions of vile and bloody violence that are sitting with you. When you wake up, they're kind of imprinted on your eyeballs. You're kind of seeing them in your mind's eye. They really are just so troubling. You've just got these visions of horrific death.
Ah,
Even in comparison to the things that you've actually seen in your
yeah.
relatively short life,
Yeah.
these are worse, more heightened, and more
This thing
affecting.
is attacking us mentally. It is setting these thoughts into our heads. Probably what it did to the last crew, and it was probably the crew itself that attacked themselves
Ah,
and drove themselves into a planet side to end the thoughts that come into their brain, their
it's
mind.
possible. Even Barrow said he had difficult dreams, and he's been on the other end of the ship the whole time.
Oh yeah,
This is not gonna be
Shaggy,
pleasant.
you're exactly the same. You have exactly the same effects.
So we can't sort of being in a different room doesn't seem to help. Have we got anything we can do to protect ourselves.
And Lovelaw, just one thing, Lovelaw, you realised that the troubling moments that you had when you first fell asleep up on the weapons deck earlier, and then woke up. The thing that woke you up was exactly this kind of dream.
Yeah. This is not going to be a pleasant trip, guys.
Folks, I just need to take a quick break because my mouse has died.
Oh no!
First victim, the first victim. No.
Have you got a box for it?
You're going to go and bury it in my
No,
garden?
no. I think the hole's got to be about that deep.
Yeah.
Although only for this one, I'm not having a bloody funeral like we had to for the rat that died. This did actually happen. We had to have a funeral for one of our rats that died
Wow.
because it was insisted upon by a small boy at the time. We don't talk about the funeral for the second rat.
Yeah.
No, I think we had kind of a little funeral, didn't we, for a hedgehog that Meg killed?
Yeah, we looked it up online. We said, yeah, if a hedgehog dies, what should you do with the corpse? And the suggestion was throw it in a hedgerow.
Seems reasonable. I would have had a Viking funeral.
Circle of life.
Circle of life.
I would have got a small wooden boat.
And a very small bow and arrow, flaming arrow.
You don't need to do that. That's not very safe. You just need a fairly long taper
Yeah.
and some candles and some oily rags in your little boat, and then you push it out, and then you kind of say a prayer to Thor and Odin, and then you just set it on fire. And the kids at the boating lake might get a bit upset when you do that, but it's fine. I'm sure it's not really a problem. Right, so we're going to just take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Let me press that button. And we're back.
Yep.
We have returned.
Yay!
Hey.
Everyone is awake.
Oh,
Everyone is disconcerted by the experience of the rest that they had. Yes, even Shaggy. So,
Yeah, those bunny rabbits were just too much.
You want to
So
play?
basically, I have an ability. I don't know whether it's not. Yeah, Song of Rest.
Hmm.
Would that help?
don't know. Can you put it up on the screen so we can see it?
you
Helps
can.
revive. Yeah, soothing music. I don't know. What's
Ooh,
that
soothing music. Kumbaya, my
Don't know
lord.
what it will show up.
Beginning
It
at
doesn't-
second level,
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. Hold hands, everybody.
Yeah.
you can
Hold
use
hands,
soothing
hold
music
hands, come on.
or oration to help revitalise your wounded allies during a short rest. If you or any friendly creature who can hear your performance regain hit points at the end of the short rest by spending one or more hit dice, each of those creatures regains an extra d6. It's not relevant in this particular case. You don't have any hit points of damage.
No, I know, but I'm thinking conceptually, it's helping people to relax.
I want everyone to mark this moment.
This is
Peter's
the moment
taken the
where-
reading of something, and rather than taking it literally to the nth degree, he's talking about it conceptually instead. Everyone write it down because it's a moment in time that might never be repeated. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Could you calm everyone down by singing them gentle music? I think the answer to that is definitely
I could do a performance.
yes.
or-
I don't think there's any question that you could do that. Having said that, you're all just a little on edge. This is not a case of you're not all, there's no effect here at this point. It's just disconcerting. You're all feeling disconcerted. You know there's something in that box. You know that what you thought was, big scary toothy clawy creature isn't, or it might be still, but it's something more, and now you all know it's playing with your mind. This thing is not what you thought it was when you brought it on board.
Yeah.
I still vote for tranquilizing the damn thing.
Does anyone know
Tranquilizer.
knowledge? Where's knowledge on this character sheet? There is no knowledge.
Well, it's
Okay.
Knowledge of what?
History.
Well,
Magic.
hey, sweetie. So, okay, so last night when I was woken up, I did explain that, my character had read books, like stories that unknown things from the outside that could, and I did mention that playing with one's mind is a dark kind of trick. So I'm wondering if anyone has knowledge on monsters that would potentially resemble what I've read from those novels. Most, you see, I'm thinking that most novels are based on some form of truth. So creatures from the shadows can compel people to do strange things. Might actually be a real life creature. I honestly don't know. I've never come across one, so I don't know. Well, when I say I've never come across them, I've only come across it in novels, which were a little bit dark and scary. But the pirate novels were really good,
In the book I'm reading, they just got attacked by a box.
You just read about a book about someone being attacked by a box?
Yes, it's one of the early chapters in my book.
No way.
It had teeth.
Did you see the box though? So
No,
how do you know about the box?
It's in the book. The party in the group in the book got attacked by a box.
Oh. So,
Y'all know what a mimic is,
then,
right?
Whoever wrote that book saw the box, and therefore it's a real thing. So maybe if one of my authors saw a creature from the shadows that could compel, maybe that's a real thing. Does anybody know whether this is a real kind of thing?
Oh, there are creatures out there that can charm and control others. Yeah, certainly.
Through
And there are
dreams?
out there that can make themselves look like chests and boxes and things. Yes, there are.
Yeah,
Tables, sofas.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got to be made of real stern
Unlearned.
stuff to go into go into wild space where it's always dark. And Shaggy kind of like puffs up his chest and sticks a little bit more definition on his shoulders and neck area to make him
Technically,
tougher.
it's not dark where you are
Oh, okay. Some of
Because-
that oozes back down to his belly.
because the starlight, the starlight is ever present. The reason it gets dark on a planet is because the planet rotates away from the star, and the planet is blocking the starlight, right? Yeah?
Yep.
But in this particular situation, right, which is you're in the Vedika system, you've got Vedika itself, the star, in the centre, and you've also got Tane. So you also get that weird kind of little dwarf star right at the edge of the system that brings extra light. So actually, there are parts of this place that never get, you get twilight or whatever. It just depends on how things are in the orbit.
So let me, right, from a place point of view, I'm thinking we have a container that is dark. If it is a creature who's trying to play, hang on a second, you guys carry on.
Well, I mean, the box itself, the inside, we don't know whether it's dark or not. Could be brightly lit inside there. We don't know.
Could be. You're right.
Right, sorry, they've stopped moaning at each other. Right, so,
I'm just saying we don't know that the box is dark.
Yeah.
It's brightly lit.
No,
It's brighter inside the box than it is out.
yeah. So this is what's going through my mind, which is that it's going to be dark on the inside, and there's a creature that is trying to confuddle us to do something, to wear us down mentally, to make us do stupid things. Okay, what I don't know, I know for a fact that my character knows of no creature like that apart from some fantasy novel, which he really didn't like. He preferred the pirate ones, and I want to basically see if anyone else has got anything that could potentially do this.
Well,
So not as players,
spellcasters,
yeah, but not as
mind
players.
Mind
Yeah,
players.
but
Yeah, this
Right.
is just my character's knowledge. I mean, it would be. I mean, I'm a spellcaster myself, and bards deal all the time in mind affecting stuff. So
Okay.
I know are high level bard spells that could absolutely do that. Yeah.
okay. So what we need to do?
It's well known that illithids attack the mind, and the illithid,
Okay.
because the Empire is like right there, just over that way, and we try and avoid it at all costs because that's not nice.
It's quite a long way away, to be fair.
It's
But
quick, yeah, I know. But
yes,
but
there are.
there's
Everyone is
these
aware of
things
mind
that-
flayers, right? Do you know what a mind flayer looks like, folks?
Yep.
Yeah.
As a player, I do, but Shaggy's never come across one. He's never shook hands with one. Let's put it like that.
I think it's fair to say.
Disguised.
I think it's fair to say that in the Oremus extent, because of the nature of this patch of wild space that you're in, everyone's aware of mind flayers. You will have seen
Right,
pictures
okay.
of them, heard descriptions of them. Everyone knows. In fact, they're often used as kind of, things to frighten small children. You've probably never seen one because,
But we know of it.
but you know of
But
them.
probably
So that's fine. I was just a little bit concerned that I'm using player knowledge for character gain to
In
progress.
this case, you all as characters will have heard of mind flayers and will be familiar with mind flayers. That was really more a question of players, how you as players, but yes, as characters you will have all heard of mind flayers.
So we don't really need to make any roll.
But none of you have ever
if
seen
we-
one.
No, so it could be a box, for all we know.
or,
It could be up to
or
No,
Well,
you know what a
it could be
mind
a
flayer
box.
looks like, but none of you have actually ever seen one. Because despite the
Okay.
terrifying descriptions of them and talk about their empire and so forth, actually they don't seem to go beyond that. But it's not like they're kind of bringing big fleets into the settled systems and things like that. Which probably because that would be not necessarily a positive outcome for them.
Okay, so have we got anyone who can do a silence spell?
I can't do a silence spell.
Nope.
Neither can I.
Well, I could have, but I can't. I don't have it.
Right. I'm just wondering if anyone has the ability to cast silence, maybe after tonight's rest, if everything is safe, maybe cast it so we don't hear the scrapings and all the rest of it.
Spells that for bards don't work like that. It's not like clerics. I can't change them.
Oh,
No.
okay. And nobody else has got it, I suppose, in their list of spells. Because apart from Love Law, I think we can all cast spells, can't we?
It isn't the noise that's causing you a problem.
No, but
You
it's
know-
kind of irritating.
Okay.
That's
I
their
mean,
brains.
does anyone have anything we could put in the water supply that would, would
Knock it out.
knock it out.
Apparently my jug does acid, basic poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, or wine.
Mayonnaise. I love that.
2 gallons of mayonnaise.
God, jeez. Okay.
Commonly
maybe
known
give
as
it
man juice.
Give it arteriosclerosis.
We do know, of course, that if one is white and nerdy, you order all of your sandwiches with mayonnaise, and as a result of that, that's definitely the reason why mayonnaise is made by that jug, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You notice mayonnaise, not sriracha.
Funny.
mean, you can try-
No chili sauce. No hot sauce.
So I have a herbalism kit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Can we infuse
lets
something with it?
you add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks to make, to identify or apply herbs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can we
I'm
mix
assuming there's a possibility I could make something.
What do we think? Can we give it a try?
Yeah.
So if I give you a bardic inspiration, that will give you a bonus on your. John, can we attempt to make something? Make a sleeping draft?
With mayonnaise.
We can certainly get it drunk. I mean, we can just pour those
Yeah.
back
There's the
in there.
4 gallons of beer.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
yes, you
that's
could. You
cool.
could use some of the what you could do with some things that you've got on board, and the fact that you can. Did you say you can make wine with it, or just beer?
Mm-hmm. Wine. Yep.
Okay. So what you can do is you can basically take the wine, and you can concentrate it. You can effectively distill it, and make high-grade alcohol, which should have.
could have an artificer who could make a basic distillation.
Between you, I'm saying that this is the case, that you can do this.
That'll keep us busy at least for the next day or so.
Let's do this.
Let's at least, if it's going to start playing with our minds, let's start playing with it.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I'm getting this message in my brain that says, "You're me best mate. You're me best mate. Come on, let's have a fight." What's that all about?
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Oh, I love you so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I've got a gallon
we've got a
of, I've got a
plan.
gallon of wine.
Okay, so whoever's making the roll then. Well, do we have to make a roll?
Yes, I think I do want somebody to make a roll.
Okay, who's got the best medicine? You've got good medicine. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Plus
I got
four
+4
medicine.
medicine.
Anyone got better than that?
2.
Is it medicine?
Is it medicine? Well, that's a good question.
Let me just have a think.
I think it's drug dealing.
Medicine. Stabilise the dying companion or diagnose an illness.
Yeah, it doesn't really. None of these really fit, do they?
No.
But I'll go with medicine.
Survival.
Yeah, I thought about survival as well, but to be honest with you, I think, we'll go with medicine.
Right. Okay. So
and that-
I'm going to use a bardic inspiration, so you get a bonus of D6 for that.
And it's going to be made at advantage because you're all going to do it together, but we're just going to have the one roll.
Cool. Yeah. So.
I think it's fair that it's made at advantage.
Yeah.
That's Megan doing it, though, right?
Just click on it.
With the right hand click.
No, just click on it, and it'll give you the option up top.
I don't pass.
There you go.
Okay, there it is.
That's it.
Advantage.
It tastes like wine.
You'll find that the shift key does it at advantage.
There we go.
Okay, well,
And add a D6 to that as well.
Oh, inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
Roll that d6.
21.
All right.
you think you've got. Well, you've got a colourless liquid.
Probably flammable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More likely.
Which you think is probably not going to cause someone to go blind. And you open up the thing on the side and you pour it in.
Yeah.
How often can you use that jug, Jay?
So I've got a gallon of wine. If we use it all, it can produce, what does it say? Up to 2 gallons a minute.
Gallons.
It's up to 1 gallon of wine, and then it's stuck at wine until the next day. So it can do 1 gallon in 1 day.
So it's a
Until
gallon
next
a
dawn.
day.
Yeah, until the next dawn.
Okay, so you've made a gallon of wine.
Hmm.
Yeah. But
Okay.
did Lovelord restock your alcohol before we left as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, so there should be some downstairs, down in the hold.
High proof bottles of something.
All right, so there's some more booze that you find in various spots, and you basically fill up the water reservoir with alcohol,
Yeah.
Yeah.
pure alcohol plus some other stuff,
Yeah.
and then you
Okay.
wait.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
The day passes.
Let me sketch.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
it-
worrying about who's flying, by the way. I'm not
Yeah. Yeah.
concerning myself
Wait.
with that at the moment. I'm assuming that one,
The level of this is going down, can't we?
it does. Every so often you look in there, and it does seem to occasionally go down. Yes.
Huh.
There's got to be something in there then.
Okay. 2 people spoke. Rob, I think I heard you. Christine.
Yeah, no, I was just making an observation. So, Chris,
I was just asking if we heard any hiccuping or anything from the box. Any
Again, the only
giggling?
sounds it makes are these same 5 sounds. All of you have tuned into this now. It's really a bit weird. You were surprised that you didn't notice it before, but now you've been around it so much, you really are noticing it now. It's really bloody obvious.
We could play a drinking game to it, couldn't we? Now we've got all this alcohol. Who do you think is going to be the Raw next? Raw next. You got it. Hey!
Now, that's a good question. If we actually made a sleeping draft, would we be able to take it ourselves and not have our dreams invaded?
Yeah.
I think it's still possible
Mm.
to make dreams.
Well, and then the other problem is if something happens, the difficulty of waking that person up.
That's fine. You're a convicted murderer. It's fine. Sorry, non-convicted murderer.
He's an unconvicted murderer.
What did
Twice.
I do last night? Why do I have a traffic code when I'm in the middle of space?
If you think about it, Varro is actually a double murderer, isn't he?
Yeah. You missed that, John. That was awesome.
Self-defense. Self-defense.
Okay, so are we?
Why are
Are
my
we?
legs broken?
Because you said the day passes uneventfully.
The day passes.
Okay.
Are you going to sleep in shifts? Are you going to all sleep at the same time as you normally would for night? What are you going to do?
I think sleep in shifts.
Sleeping shift.
Yeah.
Best. And then
Okay.
if anybody's particularly distressed in their dreams, they can be woken up
So who is resting first?
Or we can type. Yeah.
or tie them up if necessary.
So who is resting first?
Well, I'll go first.
It would make sense that Varro went first, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did lot for last time, so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who's going up to the foredeck then this time?
Okay.
I'm not concerned. Yeah, as I say, I'm not concerned. Someone's flying.
Clear.
It's fine. It's not an issue. Okay. So, Varro, you are resting, and you've been resting. And again, you get these little fleeting, these troubling thoughts, but they seem to be somewhat stronger now. It's like they're kind of getting at you. Can you please make a? Let me just look at this.
Something to bear in mind is, as an elf, I am immune to magical sleep, and I get advantage to saving throws versus charms.
It is neither of those things.
Okay.
Can you make an intelligence save, please?
Intelligence save.
Hmm.
Oh, it rolled one more face over.
Okay. Okay. You come round from your rest, and you are groggy. You really feel groggy. You feel kind of put upon. And whereas previously you were disconcerted, now you're starting to have these nagging thoughts. You even though you are awake, for want of a better way of putting it. You saw him by the way, as he was resting. You were watching him, and he would twitch occasionally and kind of spasm. And there was one point during his rest where he spasmed quite a lot, and then he kind of calmed.
Did it coincide with anything that the box was doing?
No. The box is just doing the same thing as it's been doing all the time. The same set of 5 sounds repeated. The longest gap between sounds that you can tell seems to be about 10 minutes roughly. The shortest gap between sounds seems to be about 2 minutes. Same damn sounds over and over again.
I think we need to break up the sound patterns, repeating them back, but basically just breaking up the pattern that it's sending out and what we're acknowledging in our minds.
So
tap on the box.
you come round and you feel incredibly drained. Okay? So your maximum hit points have been reduced by 6.
Okay.
All right. So you feel
Oh, good.
weakened by this effect.
Override max HP.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry too much about it. I'm, just take a note of it or whatever. But it basically means that.
No, you can do it on the character sheet, so it's fine.
That's good. That's good to know.
Okay, is that a condition?
Technically, no.
Okay.
Are we thinking we need to land somewhere and basically take a short break away from this thing?
Ooh. Is there something on the way that we could stop at?
If we stop at an asteroid or something.
There isn't. That's the problem. You've left Sunim's belt, which is the asteroid belt, and the area of space that you are in now, the area of wild space that you're in now, is clear. You're basically on a straight line between Craxus and March. Yes. No. Shelter. Sorry. Between between Craxus and Shelter.
I'm thinking we need to maybe divert somewhere so that we can get away from this thing to be able to reset our brains
I'm assuming,
before we then move again.
John, that this is not going to work.
Because this is just going to get worse and worse every night otherwise.
So, for want of a better way of putting it, you're currently. No, that's completely wrong. Sorry, let me just.
Yeah, I don't know how John would answer it for Spelljammer, but in the last game, it has to be either blinded, deaf, and paralysed or poison. No other conditions apart from those 4.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Do you come back up to the Spelljammer? Or are you staying down there? Somebody moved you.
Ooh.
Did they? Well, I can't see because we're on the map at the moment.
Yeah.
So you're effectively
You went down to the crew quarters.
You're effectively on that vector, yeah.
Okay.
That's a crude way of putting it. Let me just.
And how far along? Where are we?
You're at the end. You're pretty much at the end of day 2. So
Could we
the
not
middle
have
of day
done
5 is when you're going to arrive.
then like that?
Sorry?
Could we not have done that instead? See my squiggle that I've just drawn on there?
Well, it would take longer.
That's fine.
A lot longer because you have to fly through the asteroids.
Yeah.
No, we fly along the outside.
Gotta go slow.
No.
Along the other
Okay, so
then
you're on the
into
important
one
point about flying near big things. Or flying near other things. You slow down, yeah?
Yeah.
The reason why you can fly,
The thing
obviously
is
that
larger.
that world is
Yeah.
massive, but and this is not to scale, but if you're going to fly through small, every time you come near a small thing, you have to slow down.
I thought it was the other way round. The smaller object matches the velocity of the larger object.
No. It depends on it depends on what you mean by that.
Well, on the Spelljammer manual
Mhm.
for spelljamming, there's actually a thing, and I'm sure that it says something of
Okay,
like
so
ship-to-ship
a planet is in
combat.
all.
If
So
a
let
larger ship came into us,
so
then yeah, it matches our velocity because we match.
it's because it's
Yeah,
larger.
you might be right.
Yeah.
You
So
might-
if you're
it doesn't
if you're heading
matter
towards a
anyway.
planet, let's say the planet's doing 65,000 miles an hour through space. Yeah. When you get within range of the planet, you slow down to the normal speed in relation to the planet, right?
Yeah.
And that's the case in relation to like the larger asteroids and stuff. Now the asteroid belt isn't like it isn't like a Star Wars asteroid belt where you're bumping through a load of rocks all over the place. But that doesn't mean that there's
Indeed.
not plenty of them in the belt, and therefore you would need to keep slowing down.
So, okay, so right, I've got another cunning plan. Okay, but I need Varro. I need to be able to see Varro because he's no longer in the Spelljammer room. He's gone down to the cargo thing for his rest.
We did have another suggestion, by the way, which I don't know if people heard it.
Go for it.
Which was Christine's.
Which was that we hop along the asteroid. So in other words, we go away from the asteroid belt a little bit and arc
Cruise
back.
for a day,
Yeah,
and then
back in, land, rest, and then again hop along again.
Where would you
So
Where would you
keep
rest?
hopping along. Sorry?
Where would you rest?
well, here's the problem, which is that if we take if we try to leave the crate behind, we have an atmosphere problem.
Oh, goody. I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, if we want to expose the box to vacuum, then it's no problem. We can just drag it along behind the ship. But
Maybe that's an idea. We did suggest strapping it to the underside of the ship.
but they might be upset at the condition of whatever's in there when we get to the destination.
Maybe.
How long was the
I'd like to-
was it in that wreckage for? Can you remember, Anthony, Christine?
I don't.
Do we know?
I think they got there in a couple. I think they got there in a couple of hours. I think they said.
Yeah, I think they saw the crash. I think they saw the crash happen.
Yeah, but nobody has any idea how long the ship was transporting the crate
No.
for,
No,
do they?
no, I think they did. I think they had a record of when it left,
Okay.
like the ship's log type thing.
Oh, we had the captain's log.
Okay, so I mean,
Yeah,
realistically, we can't really stop off. We can't anchor the. We can stop the ship in mid-flight for 24 hours, but we can't put the crate out into Wildspace with a tether, so it's far enough outside, so it's just outside of our gravity surf, because
Yeah.
whatever's in it might be. So we either. So this is the thing. I know we're supposed to transport it whilst alive, but anything that attacks me in my dreams or affects me because of my dreams, that's not what a nice thing does. So I'm thinking, be damned with everything. I'm going to tie a rope around the crate, and I'm going to cast catapult to sling it outside of our gravity. And I'm going to stop the ship for 24 hours, and then we'll pull the bugger back in. That will give us a full night's rest without interruption, because it's in a different gravity field, so no spells should affect us. Maybe wrong on that. I don't know.
So you're going to open.
So,
Stay in
you
the
know,
air
we need to
force.
try it.
Oh.
You're going to open the
You know,
door.
that's what I'm thinking. And if the thing inside the crate dies, then we're going to not have any problems the next either. You know, it's a win-win for Shaggy.
You're going to open the door, which is just here. You're going to
Where?
tie it just here.
Yeah.
You're going to tie a bunch of ropes to this thing. We're going to tie some big. Well, it's actually already got some chains around it, hasn't it?
I've got
That
some
right?
rope hooks.
Yeah.
Then you're going to tie some ropes to an anchor point and to the chains that are attached to this, to the crate.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do with the crate?
Gonna chuck it out into
How?
gravity.
What with? How? I mean,
Just before we do that, why don't, if this thing's messing with their minds and all that, it's probably an intelligent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone want to try and talk to it? Give it a nice little threat?
Well, I mean, it might be intelligent, or it might be some sort of cursed altar or something. You know, it could just be a
True.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it could be intelligent.
We can try talking to it. What language it would speak, I don't know.
Okay, so because I haven't cast any spells, I can swap out one of my first level spells for catapult. No, I can't because it's only £1 to £5. So ignore that. It was a good thought.
yeah, it was a bit more than that. I was going to say this is a bloody impressive spell for first level.
Yeah.
That's enough for a decent-sized squirrel.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't get me started on squirrels,
But
guys.
yeah, so if we could mechanics things
Been triggered.
actually be able to just actually gravity. If we just pushed it out of the door after lashing it with shitloads of ropes and all the rest of it, wouldn't it just fall down to the bottom of our bubble?
No.
It would stay at our midpoint, wouldn't it? It would actually float at our midpoint. Sorry, our midpoint where our ship is.
Yes, which is basically the deck beneath your feet is your gravity line.
Midpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could we not then push it?
How are you going to push it? It's really heavy, this crate. Yeah? It weighs a lot.
Well, is it too much for us to lift? All of us, or push all of us? So it weighs a
Could
lot.
you...
You say it weighs a lot. Are you saying it weighs too much? That's the question.
Just hold on. Let me answer that question properly, because it's a good question.
And I'm sure that we could ask Shaggy to rustle us up a block and tackle. Maybe even some iron rods that we could roll it on.
Just bear with me a second. Here it is.
By the way, on space science, apparently there's a lot of people who are confused because they say if there's no oxygen in space, how is the sun burning?
See? New theory. Flat sun.
Logic.
Flat sun, flat sun.
Oh. $30 times your strength score.
To shove, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't shove
That's
anything.
what. And that is the
No,
weight,
actually,
weight in pounds, is it?
Yeah, so this box, all of you combined could pick it up.
Well, there you go.
It's going to be hard work, and one corner of it's going to be much higher up than the others, and Lovelaw's going to be looking at you all and tutting. But all of you could pick it up, so you could kind of get around it. One person at one end, two people down each side, and then you could all hoy it up. It would be hard work, but you could do it.
And then we can dangle it out the back of the ship.
Well, side of the ship.
Hope you can pull it back if we need to, otherwise it's going to be a bit problematic. Stuck out there.
And it would
yeah,
still be
that's...
inside our atmospheric envelope.
See, the biggest question is, if it's in our atmospheric envelope...
Well, as long as you have long
inside
enough
our gravity
length of
area,
rope, yeah.
Sorry.
would
hang
it still be able to affect us?
Well, this is the question: is what is the range of the ability that this thing has?
I mean, I'm going to assume that you've got a fairly chunky quantity of rope. You tell me how far you want it outside the
Yeah.
ship.
I mean, typical ranges for spells are 30, 60, 90, 120, that kind of thing. How far away can we get this box from the front of the ship? So from here, if we wanted that to be maximum distance, how far away could we get the box? That is currently 45 feet. Could we get it 90 feet, 120 feet?
Yeah.
What do we think?
I mean, for me, I'm quite okay with it going to the tip of the tail. From where it currently is, out the door here, and then it basically goes this way, as far away, as closest to the gravity edge.
I should point out to you that if you were to lash it or push it out round and lash it to the tail of your ship, it would still be inside your air envelope, because your air envelope is beyond
Yeah.
the edges of the ship's.
Okay.
That's it.
So the nose and the tail are within the air envelope of the ship. In fact, actually, you've got about 10 feet on each end.
Right. Okay.
So
if we
depending on
lashed
what
it to-
distances away you want, the handy thing about the ship is it's very long.
Yeah. So let's lash it to the right at the end of the tail, and that would give us roughly how long is that to then the front of the ship? So to sort of this point, which is someone could sleep in there, take turns sleeping up here.
So let's just see how far it is. So it's about 55 feet from where you currently are.
Yeah.
I probably need to... You guys can see this measure, right? The one I'm using?
Yeah. I can see.
Yeah. So if you lash it right to the tip of the tail, it's 100 feet from from here.
Okay. Well, the thing is, no one at the warehouse had been complaining about bad nights or anything like that, or we hadn't heard any stories about it. They were probably going home at night, so we're assuming that the range is not miles.
No.
100 feet might be enough. It's a good shot. Why do we do it? It's a good bet.
Give it a shot.
Do you want to try talking to it before we chuck it out the door?
No.
No. Okay.
Nah, it's affected my dreams. I don't want it on the ship, but I don't really want to kill it because I want to get paid for it. But if we have to push it outside of our oxygen envelope, then I'm quite prepared to do that. This is literally walking the plank for this crate.
I mean, if it kills us before we get there, then we're
And if
not
Barrow
going to get
comes
it
up to the
anyway.
helm and I see him, I'm going to see how pasty he is compared to normal. And I'm going to know that he's been affected through his 4-hour sleep cycle.
Well,
So in which case, that's where I'm going with this.
Everyone's
know.
going to be making intelligence saves left, right, and centre, and taking maximum hit point damage. So let's just do it. Yeah.
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 All right. Go on.
Right, so I'll spend before I go to sleep. I'll spend some time to jury rig some pulleys, carve some pulleys, and all the rest of it. I'm going to put some use my map tools to forge some spring assisted bits and pieces for the return.
The cool thing about this, from your perspectives, is that once you've lifted it up and kind of shoved it out the side door here, because you are in Wildspace, it just sits, and you can just push it along. So what you all do, and it turns out that the person who is seems to be a past master at just sort of floating around and hand over hand and pulling himself and shoving this thing, even though it's got momentum. You rope it up, and then you rope up Lovelore. And he just seems to take to this. It's like he's been doing this all his life. You guys didn't even know he had this talent. But you're quite surprised by the fact that he just sort of pushes himself out. Literally, he kind of turns and he pushes off. He gets this thing, he kind of pushes it, and then he pushes off with it, and he holds on to it. And he just floats out into space.
Space Marine, always a Space Marine, huh?
You know it.
And he gets out here, and as he's getting to the extent, he pulls on the rope, and you guys stop, and he holds onto it, and he stops it. And then, Shaggy, you kind of walk across the surface of the ship simply because you can make these little things as part of your kind of pseudopody legs to down the ship, and between the two of you lash it on while everyone else is watching, and you lash it on tight and there's no issues. And then Shaggy, you go back and get back in the jamming helm, and you head off. Okay, it's late afternoon. Who's going to take the next go at having a rest?
Me.
And where are you going to go?
Right to the front.
Right, to the right.
Yes.
Open that thing at the
Absolutely.
pet, basically.
So probably there.
So,
Well, move your
where are we talking about?
Talking about up here.
The weapon deck.
No. Right. Stop. Go down. Here. Look on my screen. There. She's sitting right next to me, and she's like, "Where? There.
Yeah, but she's not looking at your screen, Pete.
I know exactly."
She's got her own screen. Christine's an
Right,
independent space voyager.
Over 100 feet. So let's hope the range is 100 feet or less.
there you go. It's lashed on.
So, and I will go and watch to see if she
Twitches.
is twitching, etc.
Mhm.
Okay.
I will watch her while she sleeps, but not in a creepy way.
I like to watch you sleeping. For anybody who is a fan of the Planes, Fire and Rescue, I watched that movie a lot when Oscar was little, because he loved that film. Okay, so she drifts into her trance, and this absolute look of calm comes across her face. She seems incredibly relaxed, and her rest is perfect. You feel refreshed and positive when you come round.
Fantastic. Right, that's good for you. There's next person up. Come on.
Okay.
La 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 la. Skip, hop, hop. Skip, hop.
All right. Here we go.
The thing is, you're going to need to sleep for a lot longer. And Lovelore, are you going to join them as well, or because you're getting tired
Yeah,
now?
at some point.
Well, you might be able to get. I mean, this is a 5 foot. That's a 5 foot by 5 foot square.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can fit 3 people in a sleeping in a 5 foot by 5 foot square.
Since they're
Yeah.
friends, they can cuddle.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit weird with
Jail, because when she's asleep, there's butterflies that appear around her and flutter about when she's asleep. So
Nice.
it's a little bit off-putting for anybody else.
Astral
We'll
butterfly.
have to.
They wouldn't know if they're asleep as well.
We'll have to drag Shaggy's bucket up from the
Oh,
hold.
yeah.
No, it'll be fine. I'll just cover the whole floor
Yeah.
and fall down and just go down the ladder.
It's
So
just
you,
like a
you-
waterbed for the rest.
The two of you fall asleep, and literally, it's really quite quick. The both of you fall asleep very, 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 very quickly. And apart from the slightly disconcerting astral butterflies that keep wafting across the deck and fluttering about, Varro, I thought you were watching them.
Well, I was. I can keep watching them. Yeah, I can keep watching.
Yeah, you watch them for about 2 hours, and they seem completely beatific in their sleep. They are relaxed. They are calm. They are sleeping in exactly the way that you would expect them to sleep. And so you've got no concerns. In actual fact, that both of them sleep very refreshed. They're awake, they're relaxed, they're much happier. So it seems like
We have exceeded the range of
preventing whatever the problem was from occurring.
No nightmares. No nightmares.
We'll keep. I mean, I'd say we could probably go back to water to top up the crate.
Yeah.
It might insist on wine now, though.
A gallon a day.
Yeah.
There's something
So-
odd.
Mhm.
No, you wouldn't notice. It's fine. It's not an issue. The crate's all the way down there. You're just leaving it there now.
Well, we're keeping an eye on it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but just
Yeah.
like, you know,
Just keep checking on it, making sure
keep
all
checking on it.
good.
So when it goes round for the next night's sleep for Barrow, if I have an uninterrupted night's sleep,
You do,
do I get?
and
Do I get?
having fully rested,
Yeah.
you have recovered your hit points.
Really?
So
So
the
that's-
effect on you is lifted, and you no longer have
3,
the.
4. So
Fantastic.
this is fourth night.
So the
First night,
days
second
the days
night.
now pass without problem, and on the fifth day, in the afternoon of the fifth day, you
We'll
are
drag the,
approaching
we'll
the
drag the crate back
atmosphere.
in.
You're approaching the atmosphere of shelter
Okay.
Yeah,
with
can we
a
get the crate
detailed
back
set
in
of instructions as to
before?
where to land. So you're skimming in
Yeah, can we-
towards the atmosphere, and you're going to drop down onto the planet's surface.
Yeah. And Shaggy is saying something here, so
Absolutely.
Shaggy.
Can before we go and land, we
Oh,
need
yeah.
to get that crate back in place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Done.
that's fine.
So
Or in
on the fifth
atmosphere.
day,
Yep.
that comes back in, and we check the water and everything, and we basically get that crate back to where it was, so that it can be unloaded correctly.
Okay. Well, we're going to leave it there for tonight, and then with you dropping down towards the planet, and with the crate
Inside. Yay!
Okay.
Very good.
back here.
Okay.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
That's a good point.
Thanks, John.
It's good to
Tinkering on
do that
Monty.
before you land. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think it would be best.
So, if we'd like to say goodbye to the to our lovely streaming people,
Yes. Goodbye.
and we'll end our broadcast. Bye bye.